All right, good morning everybody. Thanks to Max and the team for inviting me here. I just wanted to give a kind of very high-level overview of a conceptual idea that Max actually has inspired me, that we have been actually doing for quite some time as well. So to just put it in a kind of a context, I've been working on Alzheimer's disease for at least 20 years, and I was actually involved in a successful Alzheimer drug called galantamine, or Razadine, that was approved in 2001. Just to be followed by Melantine in 2004. It was the last approved drug for Alzheimer's. So almost 16 years later, and there's nothing on the horizon as the next module. All right, so I'm going to talk about the case for combination therapy. So, as George mentioned, I think there's many processes that converge in the brain. And if you look at back in history, and I worked with Dr. Paul Janssen, who was one of the major drug hunters in the 20th century, many successful CNS therapies actually used rich pharmacology, so affecting many circuits and many pathways at the same time. And some of them were discovered even before the targets when was called the so-called phenotypic assay discovered. And since then, since the late 90s, early 2000s, of course, the genomics revolution took over, and people actually thought that they were smart enough to identify targets, very specific targets. So it was a whole area, 20 years of studies with selective targets, focusing on only one target, very highly selective, highly potent. None of them, or almost none of them, actually were successful to change the course of the disease. So the challenge is, how do we develop polypharmacy, multiple pharmacological activities, in a rational way? There are many possibilities, as you know. The challenge of which drugs to combine, 2 or 3, at what dose, what patients, when to start the duration. So this is a very challenging topic. And so I just wanted to give a couple of ideas on how we might actually address those problems. So just to mention that right now in clinical practice, there is already polypharmacy going on. As you can see, this is a study from the ADNI group, which is about a group of 2,000 plus subjects followed from 2002 until now. And so you can see that the number of communications that those patients take actually ranges from 2 to maybe 16, or even there is one patient out there with 41 different communications. So polypharmacy is rampant in clinical practice, of course, that's what you know, everybody joins. All right. Okay, so of course this might lead to the kind of very individual variability in clinical response. So this is just an example from a study in 2016, again from the ADNI database. ADASCOPE is a kind of cognitive marker, clinical outcome. You can see that over time there is a lot of variability of individual patient responses. And so that might be due to communications, genotypes, different drug metabolism, different comorbidities, which is different pathologies converging in the upper brain, and maybe different trajectory of the pathology itself. It's maybe more oxidative stress related versus tau related versus Alzheimer related. So this is a challenge as well. And again, this is the kind of cartoon that people actually draw up, and I even mentioned here the mitochondrial stuff from George. So there's a lot of different possible targets that you can actually address. There are these neuronal targets, there is microglia target, astrocyte target, neurovascular targets. At the same time, you have a number of clinical readouts that you can actually use for testing some of those targets. They're called biomarkers. You can look at inflammation imaging, you can look at CSF, cytokine levels, you can look at beta amyloid or target imaging. But at the end of the day, what counts for the patient is a functional rebound. The patient doesn't care whether her or his beta amyloid goes down or up. What he cares for is that he functions better, that he still recognizes his family members, that he is able to enjoy social life. Okay, so, all right. So some strategies for combination therapy is, of course, physician-inspired a la carte, so to speak. So it is the physician that decides which combination therapy to do, which is often very irrational and completely random, without any knowledge about the possible interactions between the different drugs that clinicians describe. There are a number of compounds in clinical trial right now which use very specific insights on the clinical data. So for instance, the compound LZOP1, now in phase 1, is a compound that is most focused on reducing beta amyloid and addressing neuroinflammation. There are a number of compounds that have been derived, combinations that have been derived from big data. Of course, big data and artificial intelligence is a kind of novel hype here. And so, for instance, the company drug PhD 864 is a combination of baclofen and contrastate, actually existing drugs to purpose drugs, and that actually is now in phase 2 in Alzheimer's disease as well. And then finally, what I'm going to talk about is the expertise in computer-based modeling approach. So we try to actually build complex computer models of human brain circuits, try to bring in the biology, understand which parts of the pathways actually can change to give the kind of synergistic response to the drug. It sounds very, let's say, kind of science fiction. But we have been working on that in the last 15 years now. It's an approach called quantitative systems pharmacology, and it includes, of course, systems, because the brain is a system, so a collection of systems, both neuronal circuits, but also intracellular pathways. It's pharmacology, because actually it uses drugs to actually address some of those dysfunctions. And in the pharmaceutical industry, we have actually been using, in the past, a lot of modeling, and for instance, pharmacokinetic modeling, which simulates the disposition of the drug. So after taking the pill, where the drug actually goes to, in what organ, and at what time scale. And nowadays, of course, we have this system that is called physiology-based modeling that actually uses biology to look at the binding of the drugs to certain transporters and the uptake in the organs. What we have been doing is actually physiology-based pharmacodynamic modeling. So what does the drug do to the body to a certain extent? Of course, talking about the brain, which actually is a combination of neurons that find action potential, we have complications of them. We simulate the opening and closing of voltage-gated ion channels and the firing of action potentials in complex neuronal circuits, like the one which actually is described over here. So on the left side you see kind of schematic, anatomical picture of the brain. On the right side you see the computer model that we derived from that. So it's an anatomically informed, mechanism-based computer model that has different types of neurons. You can see the green neurons are the so-called excitatory neurons that drive the cognition. The yellow neurons or the GABA interneurons that will kind of express the vision balance there. And then, of course, you have a whole lot of other aspects in the basal ganglia that drive, for instance, psychiatric symptoms as well. So we also have now an project going on to actually go about the disease modification. So one of the hypotheses that is currently being tested in the clinic is the progression of the pathology to tau propagation. Tau is a molecule that actually is the basis of the tangles, one of the two hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. And so the idea is that tau actually can be secreted from one neuron on a synapse, and then actually diffused to the next neuron, being taken up, and then in that way it actually progresses over axon transport to the next neuron. And that's actually how Braak, which is one of the famous neuroanatomists, described his 6 stages. So we got the model actually to go into detail about what are the components, processes that drive that particular pathology. And so it allows us to actually look at, to calibrate the system with the pathology of tau progression using human brain imaging studies. We also bring in the interaction with microglia cells, which is a very inflammatory component of the pathology. And then finally, of course, we also bring in the effect of toxic tau on the physiological properties of neurons, because that drives the firing dynamics and therefore the activity, clinical activity as well, in interaction with beta amyloid, until they get the kind of impact on neuronal circuit and clinical outcome. Of course, one of the ideas for that would be a kind of a sales argument for combination therapy is if you could actually combine a symptomatic therapy with a disease-modifying therapy, then actually you could develop a drug based on the 6-month studies for symptomatic treatment. They will get approval, and then do the long 3, 4, 5 years trials for disease modification. The challenge, of course, is how do we actually calibrate such a model? When do we know when such a model actually is realistic for the human brain. And so one of the ideas that we were playing around is looking at virtual patient trials, because we have a lot of clinical data for all the failed trials out there, initial trials. So we can reverse engineer those clinical data to try to actually constrain the model by creating a computer model of the same patients with the same distribution of genotypes, communications, etc. And then do side-by-side parallel analysis based on the Silico modeling there and compare the results with the actual clinical trial outcomes. So that is a way actually to calibrate the computer model to the extent that you might be, to a certain extent, feel confident enough that this is the way forward. And so the nature of clinical trials actually can be helpful in the sense that even if the trial is negative, there are always a number of responders that might actually be very informative in terms of what is the kind of environment that actually gives a positive response for that particular target. And virtual patient analysis can provide a wide range of outcomes for subsequent validation. All right, so just to finish to a certain extent, the idea of this combinational therapy is to look at the sum was more than its part. So we have the famous cartoon of the elephants here. If you combine that with a kind of integration and let's say better understanding what the different processes are combining, then actually you could reach a bigger impact. So we are looking for combinations that would be synergistic in terms of clinical outcomes. Just to finish as a kind of an end consideration here, already more than 300 years ago, almost 200 years ago, Voltaire mentioned this particular citation. Les médecins sont des hommes qui font des maladies qui ne connaissent guère des médicaments, donc ils savent encore moins, dans des patients qui ne connaissent pas du tout. Somebody wants to translate it?
Oui, oui.
So doctors are men that the diseases they don't know much about. Drugs that even know less, patients they don't know about. So I hope this is not the future. I hope we actually get better insights into the diseases that we want to treat. And this is my collaborators that have been my co-inspirators in crime actually for the last 15 years to actually work on this particular platform. Thanks a lot for